The Magic Finger. The farm next to the ours is owned by Mr. and Mrs. Grigg. The Griggs have 2 children, both of them boys. Their names are Philip and William. Sometimes I go over their farms to play with them. I am a girl and I am 8 years old. Philip is also 8 years old. William is 3 years older. He is 10. What? Oh, I like them. He is 11. Last week, something very funny happened to the Grigg family. I am going to tell you about it as best I can. Now, the one thing that Mr. Grigg and his 2 boys loved to do more than anything else was to go hunting. Every Saturday morning, they would take their guns and go off to the woods and go for animals and birds to shoot. Even Philip, who was only 8 years old, had a gun of his own. I can't stand hunting. I just can't stand it. I don't seem right to me that men and boys should kill animals just for fun they get out of it. So I used to try to stop Philip and William to doing that. Every time I went over their farm, I would do my best to talk them out of it. But they only laugh at me. I even said something about it once to Mr. Grigg, but he just walked past me as if I wasn't there. Then one Saturday morning, I saw Philip and William coming out of the woods with their father, and they were killing a lovely young deer. This made me so cross that I started shouting at them. The boys laughed and made faces at me, and Mr. Grigg told me to go home and mind up my own P's and Q's. Well, that's it. I still laughed, and before I was able to stop myself, I did something I never meant to do. I put the magic finger on them all. Oh dear, I even put it on Mrs. Grigg, who wasn't there. I put it on the whole Grigg family. For months, I have been telling myself that I would never put the magic finger upon anyone again. Not after that what happened to my teacher, old Mrs. Winter. Poor old Mrs. Winter. Miss Winter. One day we are in class, and she was teaching us spelling. Stand up, she said to me, and spell cat. That's an easy one, I said. K-A-T. You are a stupid little girl, Mrs. Winter said. I am no stupid little girl, I cried. I am a very nice little girl. Go and stand in the corner, Mrs. Winter said. Then I got close, and I said loud. I put the magic finger on Miss Winter good and strong, and almost at once, guess what? Whiskers began growing out of her face. They were all black whiskers, just like the ones you see on the cat, only much bigger. And how fast they grow! Before we had time to think, they were out to her ears. Of course, the whole class started screaming with laughter. And then Miss Winter said, "Will you be so kind and ask to tell me what your family memory funny all of you?" And when she turned around to write something on the blackboard, she saw that she had grown a tail as well. It was a huge bushy tail. I cannot begin to tell you what happened after that, but if any of you are wondering whether Mrs. Winter is quite all right again now, the answer is no, and she never will be. The magic finger is something I have been able to do all my life. I can't tell you just how to do it. I do it because I don't even know myself, but it always happens when I get close, when I still laugh, and then I get very, very hot all over. I get the tip of my forefinger on my left hand begins to tingle most terribly, and suddenly a sort of flash comes out of me, a quick flash like something electric. It jumps out and touches the person who has made me cross. And after that, the magic finger is upon him or her, and things began to happen, where the magic finger was now upon the whole of the Grigg family, and was not taking off again. I ran home and watched for things to happen. They happened fast. I share now to tell you about those things were. I get the whole story from Philip and William the next morning after it was all over. In the afternoon of the same day I put the magic finger on the Greek family. Mr. Greek and Philip and William went hunting once again. This time they were going after wild ducks, so they hunted towards the lake. In the first hour they got 10 birds. The next hour they got another 6. What a day! Cried Mr. Greek. This is the best yet. He was beside him with joy. Just then 4 more wild ducks flew over their heads. They were flying very low. They were easy to hit. Bang, 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 bang went the guns. The ducks flew out. We missed, said Mr. Greek. That's funny. Now, to everyone's surprise, the 4 ducks turned around and came flying back to the guns. Hey, said Mr. Greek. What on earth are they doing? They are really asking for this time. She shot them again. So did the voice. And again they are missed. Mr. Greek got very loud in the face. It's the light, he said. It's getting too dark to see. Let's go home. So they started for home, carrying with them the 16 birds they had shot before. But the 4 ducks would not leave them alone. They now began flying around and around the hunters as they walked away. Mr. Greek did not like it one bit. Beat us, he cried, and he shot them many more times, but it was no good. His separate could not hit them. All the way home, those 4 ducks flew around the sky above their heads, and nothing would make them go away. The end.